I'm getting more and more calls since people are going back to work more from individuals, clients who just say, I cannot get along with this person. This person is unreasonable. They're just terrible. I don't like working. They've changed the way I feel about going in. And it's hard enough to make this transition to go back to work. Not only in the workplace am I seeing this, but I'm also seeing it in homes where there was one estranged family member or one family member that just wasn't around much, and now all of a sudden they're around. And it's not like what people have idealized. It's not easy. There's nothing that feels natural about it. It's just plain hard being around people who are unreasonable. And the first thing I'm going to tell you is give yourself a break. It's not your fault. There are some people who are just unreasonable. They're just not nice. Whatever the underlying thing that's going on, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you just don't want to be around them. And if you're looking for some kind of an idea of who these people are, you personally have an idea, they get lumped into this group of having mental disorders. And some of them do have mental illness. Some of them do have real diagnoses that make them difficult, but not all of them do. Some of them you could just say are spoiled, or they've just always been this way, or they had bad mentoring or modeling. But I'm going to give you some things that classify. These are people that you just can't have a reasonable conversation with. They twist your words, they'll confuse you, they'll snow you, they'll fog you out, they'll manipulate you. They're just unreasonable, especially when it comes to anything that they could have been held accountable. People who make subtle or overtly demeaning comments, and then they'll say something like, I was just kidding, I was teasing. And they do it to others, so you know they do it to you, and sometimes they do it to you too. They're sarcastic and they'll do a twist that you know they really mean. It's hurtful. Those who don't respect your boundaries, they stomp on them, they walk all over them, they don't care about them. The types that aren't willing to consider your point of view. Basically, they want what they want. They want their own way, and everything in their life is set up to be convenient for them. They do not consider you in making their decisions at all. They're bullies. They're verbal and emotional abusers. They're manipulators. They're liars. They're people who leave you feeling bad. And they leave you always feeling shaky, like you're on edge. If you work with these people, you aren't sure if you have a job or if something you said or did is going to go to another boss without them even talking to you. They're crazy makers. They love that. They make drama. They make crazy wherever they go. If something is small, and God forbid you did try to confide in them, which you should never do, they will make sure you don't ever do it again. And they'll do that by creating tons of negative drama in your life. They're excessively charming. Those type are just too good to be true. Believe me, they are too good to be true. They're not honest. They're snowing you. They're manipulating you. So as a therapist, I'm going to tell you things that will help you maneuver around these people and basically be able to keep your job or to accept them as family members if they're in your home and they've been gone a while. But it's important always that you put yourself in the center this time, that you remember how these people can make you feel, how they can destroy your confidence, so you don't get sucked in to their vacuum of whatever they're creating that day. And they will change. When they're feeling low, they may reach to you for support, and it's important that you keep that boundary around you, protecting yourself. Minimize time with them. I know it's not easy, especially if this person is your supervisor or boss, but you can always tell them up front, listen, I work better on my own. I'll check back with you during the day. Once again, I want you to create the boundary you want at work and in your personal home life. Keep it logical. These people do not chit-chat with, and keep whatever you say fact-oriented. That means it's going to feel terse. It's going to feel awkward. Doesn't matter. You're in control now. You're in control what you give them, what ammunition you give them to abuse you with. So keep it tight. Tighten up your ship, if you will. Don't drink around them. When you drink, you get less inhibited. And you might think, well, this will loosen them up and maybe it'll boost the morale. It doesn't work with this kind of person. This person is always looking for a way to twist, turn, or change what you said to make you look bad, and that's how they function. Or to create more drama in the workplace or at home. Don't give them that opportunity. Focus on them in conversation. Don't let the focus become you, because they'll rip you up. Ask them questions. Ask them what they thought about that. Ask them why. If anything, annoy them with your questions. They'll start leaving you alone. They might tease you, they may twist it, they may say sarcastic things. Big deal. You protected yourself, and people usually love talking about themselves. So when you ask them questions and they're allowed to talk, they feel seen, they feel heard. It can all be stuff you just let ride under the bridge. You don't have to really come back or listen to them. But it is important that you put the focus more on them. So you allow them to be a bigger part of any conversation, which will in the end protect you. Give up the dream that this person is going to come around or be the person you wish they would be. They're not like that. You can't control others. That's kind of an immature thought anyway, so just let it go. Stay away from topics that get you into trouble. If you know certain topics at work are going to start something, just don't address it. Just leave it alone. You might say, well, I can't ignore this, especially in the medical field. Then talk to someone over them or someone parallel to them, so you're not necessarily doing it on your own without supervision, but yet this person isn't going to be allowed to manipulate or change the discussion between the two of you, because it's very scary when they start doing that. And at the end of the day, unless something is charted and written down, it's their word against yours. Don't try to get them to see your point of view. They can't. They don't have that capacity. They don't have that maturity or even that mindset. They don't care about your perception. They care at the end of the day about what they want. Remember, it's what is easiest for their life, what's best for their life. They would throw you under the bus in a second. So you have to get rid of that old idea that somehow underneath there is a good person. Let God work on that. You just work on the facts that you need to right now. And as I mentioned before, it's really good if you can stay away from them. But if they're in your life and they have to be, find a distraction. If they have a child, give that child a lot of attention. If they have a pet, that pet gets a lot of attention. If they have a garden, talk about stuff in the garden. Whatever it is, use distractions when you're forced to be around them. But my best advice is minimize the time around them, because you're right. These people are different. These people are difficult. And in a life that's already quite difficult, why would you surround yourself trying to mold them into someone they're never going to be? If this video is helpful for you, please subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much.